basically the question is, if there's such an event where we have an overwhelming of the 911 system.
Yes.
Now, just to help alleviate that, what's the number you can call if it's not an emergency but you need city service? 311. We got to push that as much as we can because that takes calls off that 911 system, right? So if we start to get into an event where we know we're getting overwhelmed on 911, there is a process and a plan to put more 911 operators on and bring up additional lines and things like that. But it won't always be the case that we can answer every single 911 call. We have a large event, like the earthquake, or like 9/11. It's gonna happen. Even if we had the best plans in place, we got every CERT member from across the city, every volunteer we possibly could get in and get trained and get them into the 911 center, we would still be overwhelmed.
Yeah, well, I'm from here. I used to work for OUC, and
There
I
you
was
go.
just curious on
Sure.
what was in place.
Sure.
You know, when it really does, because hopefully it's changed.
So, actually, there has been some good changes. There is a process to back up and redundancy and everything like that. But I'm telling you now, folks, on 9/11, on the day we had the earthquake, and there'll be another one, 911 is going to get overwhelmed. So the question for you, I can't sit here and tell you, we're going to do everything, we're going to answer every 911 call, because that's just not the truth. So the question is, if you have an emergency, because this is what this is about, right, being prepared. If you have an emergency and you can't get through on 911, what do you do? Who knows where the closest fire station is? Okay. How about the closest police district or substation? Okay. That's a couple of places you can go. Now, if they're all out on calls, there may or may not be somebody inside the fire station. But I guarantee if you go to the police station, there's somebody inside. If you see a police car or an ambulance or a city service entity out on the street, grab them. Tell them what you got. Those are other ways that you can get through into the process. Did I answer your question?
Thank you. In direct answer to your question about a chemical spill, the only thing to do, the best thing to do is to stay inside. You don't go out roaming looking for a police station or a fireman. Years ago when I was media rep at Pepco, we had a disaster drill. And the scenario was a plane crashed into the chlorine tank at Morgantown. Morgantown is at the foot of the Potomac River Bridge. And as media rep and as all the other responders, the police and fire, had to go to Morgantown. As I drove down 301, everybody was marked dead. Everyone had red X's around their necks because what happens, depending on the weather, chlorine is released into the air. And if you can imagine having bottles and bottles of Clorox thrown on you, that's the kind of physical burn you would have, but as a gas, it's deadly. So everybody was marked dead. The best thing to do in a chemical spill, no matter where you are, is to stay inside.